Awesome. Hello. Good morning. Happy Monday. Yes, I am one of those people. You guys have probably seen that meme out there that's like, it's not Mondays that suck. It's your job or your whatever. I'm totally one of those people. I fucking love Monday mornings. I was up early this morning, got yoga in, got my meditation in, got all my stuff packed for my yoga thing tonight, snuggled with Kitty, journaled, all sorts of things already, and it's only 10 o'clock here. All right. So good to see everyone this morning. Super excited that you're all here. All right. So how's everyone feeling since kind of looking at our shit yesterday? How's everyone doing? Alicia says, How's everyone doing since looking at it? So as I was speaking at my event yesterday, I was reminded of a little visual that I created earlier this year. And I'll show it to everyone here quickly. I don't know if you can see it. So it just says, until you're willing to recognize that you're standing in fertilizer, you will continue to be standing in shit. So just a little Monday morning inspiration to get you all going today, remembering that everything we looked at yesterday isn't shit. It's an opportunity for growth. It's fertilizer. It's an opportunity for you to come out of all of this, being a better person, being more aligned with your true self, not the self that other people have put on you. Who was it in the Facebook group that said that her family still sees her as the shy girl? I totally get that. Totally get that. Alicia was triggered by some gnarly conversations. Let's see. Anita said, felt a good release after the exercise yesterday. Carly, good. She says, that was me. Actually been really grateful this morning. I totally get the shy thing. I actually even, Bree is a shortening. My full name's Brianna. And I went by Brianna all through high school. So going back to my hometown, I always feel like I'm going back to being that shy person again. And I've actually had panic attacks and anxiety attacks because of it that I've now worked through, thankfully, because I'm back in my hometown now. Tracy procrastinated all day, but had a breakthrough at 5:30 a.m. I love it. Love it. Mary's coming to us at her ultrasound. That, my friends, is commitment. I love it. Cool. So today we are going to shift gears a little bit. So we are all in a fresh week, starting with some fresh energies, some fresh outlooks. For the first 3 days of this training, I've been doing a lot of inner work, like really looking within, looking at our dreams, our desires, some of the things that need to be cleaned out. And now it's really important. We get to now take those things into the outer world. So reflecting for just a moment, much of what's in the outer world tells you just take action, right? Like Nike's slogan, right? Like just do it. Just forget about all the other shit and just take action. Whereas the traditional law of attraction camps will tell you like, oh, you just need to think about it. You don't need to take any action. The universe will just provide it to you. You don't need to do anything. Just think about it. I am an intersection of both of those things, right? So today we are going to do both. We want to tap into that energy. We want to tap into our personal power. We want to tap into our desires. And when we can take action from that place, rather than just blindly taking action or hustling or forcing or pushing, that's when co-creation gets to happen. This is not about forcing, and it's not about being passive. It's not about the outer world or the inner world. It's about both. So in order to powerfully create, you have to both be in that energetic mode of cultivating your dreams, cultivating your desires, also being in the receiving of it, and being the activator of it in the physical world. So if you don't have both, if you're simply just going out and blindly taking action, or if you're simply just sitting around thinking about all the things you want and not taking action at all, you are not co-creating. You're either manipulating, pushing and hustling, you're in the physical world, or you're being passive, powerless, and in like a victimhood state if you're just doing the inner work, right? So it's really important to have both. So Tracy said, say it again. In order to powerfully create, you need both the inner world and the outer world. It's not about forcing. It's not about being passive. It's about taking action from a truly inspired place. So passive creation either spins you into victimhood. This is I'm thinking about it and vibing just like Bree said, but why isn't anything showing up yet? Like, why isn't anything happening? Or passive action can put people into the waiting mode. Well, I know it's going to happen, so I'm just going to let the universe take care of it. I'll just sit back and like the universe will take care of it all. Or then you can swing to the opposite end of the spectrum, which is that hustle creation mode that fills your calendar with all sorts of like meaningless actions, keeping you spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning in busyness, feeling like you're running on that hamster wheel, doing and doing and doing and doing and doing, and nothing's coming out of it. Now, this kind of creation stems from a not enoughness. Oh, there's not enough time, or there's not enough resources, or, I'm not doing enough, or blah, 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 blah. So now active creation is combining inspiration from the universe with being a physical being in the world. So 3 years ago, I was on my yoga mat and I started getting this message every single day. You are the divine intersection of heaven and earth. I had no idea what it meant. No freaking clue. Now, whatever it is you believe, this is the interpretation that I came to. So as a human, it is my job to receive the insights and the inspiration from source, from the universe. And then, as a human, because we're both spirit and human, so as a spirit, I get to receive that inspiration. As a human, it's my job to birth things into the physical world. So it's both. We are both spirit and human. And because of that, we can't just be human and we can't just be spirit. We are both. So active creation also means that you're not doing it alone, which is so cool. Hustle mode and that like not enoughness mode, you feel like you're doing it alone. I have to do all these things because there's no one else to do them, and I have to kick ass, and I have to do this, and I have to do that. Totally not taking into consideration 95% of the equation. The universe is behind the scenes, like helping out and dropping in so many synchronicities and coincidences and the right people and the things and the places that you need to be. So it means you're not doing it alone. But it does also mean that you have to show up. You don't just get to sit in your house. Did I mention this? I think I mentioned this the other day, that I lived with an actor once and he like never left our house. And I was like, dude, Steven Spielberg, not knocking on our door anytime soon. Like sitting around and just like waiting. Or who was it that was talking about Broadway the other day? And not to say that you're not taking action, but like sitting around and just waiting for Broadway to come to you, or saying no to other opportunities that you think aren't the Broadway opportunities or whatever, right? Like you have to show up for this work. So we've been talking about starting fires. Well, I see it this way. I see that spark coming from the universe. So the universe sparks the fire, but it's our job to add the wood. It's our job to then fan it and stoke it and get it so that it's raging. So today we're going to take action, but the really important part about this is that you're not just going to take like any action. You're not going to write out a to-do list of 500 things and go like check them all off the list. We're going to take inspired, active action. So what does this mean? It means that you are not taking action from your brain. You are not shoulding yourself into action. You are not relinquishing your power. and you're not taking a million actions. Active inspired actions are deliberate, conscious actions that create results inspired by your vision, by your soul, and by the universe. I'm just gonna copy and paste that. Oops, wrong button. I'm gonna put that in the chat box for everyone just so you can kind of see it. So active inspired actions are deliberate conscious actions that create results inspired by your vision, your soul, and the universe. So I want to give you guys an example of this. I'm working with a client right now in RTT, and we did our RTT session, and then we had one of our conscious coaching sessions, and we were talking about active inspired action. And so she had been taking action from a place of, well, I should post on social media because, when I post on social media, people place orders. Now that was a non-active inspired action. Clearly because she put should in front of it, right? Like that's a really, really great indicator of like, well, I should do this today. Don't should yourself. My Reiki lady, don't should all over yourself, right? So as she and I were talking, she had an epiphany and she said, oh, so what you mean is that fashion illustration that's been on my mind to send to that big name influencer for the last 3 weeks, that action that I've been talking myself out of for the last 3 weeks, that's the action I should take? He said, that's the exact action you should take. When you think of things randomly like that, it's not a coincidence. It's not an accident. That's inspiration. When you're forcing yourself to take an action, that's not inspiration. When you're saying, well, so-and-so built their business this way, or so-and-so's resume looked like this, or so-and-so did this to go find an apartment, or so-and-so did, that's not inspired. Now, if you say, oh my gosh, this person did this thing, and that's such a brilliant idea, and that inspires me to now want to go out and try that for myself, that's a completely different energy. That's a completely different thing. That is not shoulding, that's inspired. So oftentimes these active inspired actions are absolutely going to at least put you a little bit outside your comfort zone. The bigger the active inspired action, the further it's going to be away from your comfort zone. Hence the reason that this girl that I was having this session with had been talking herself out of taking that action for 3 fucking weeks. First off, can you imagine how much energy every single day went into talking herself out of that action for 3 weeks? And can you imagine how much energy it would have taken for her to package up a fashion illustration and put it in the mail? This is what active inspired actions do to you. They scare the shit out of you. And they're usually things that are like, I have been rewriting my website content for the last month. Ask me if any of it has gone up on my website yet. Right? So active inspired actions are like bigger things. They're things that are going to scare you. They're things you're probably going to have resistance to. Now, it's important to look at, of course, if you're having resistance to something, it could be, am I resisting this because it's not right? Or am I resisting this because it's perfect and it's scaring the shit out of me and I don't want to do it? Okay? So important to look at those things. Anita. So Anita said, what about reframing from I should to I get to? Yes, if it is truly an inspired action. If it is not something that is inspired, even saying like, I get to do this, yeah, it helps your brain, but is that really going to produce the results you want? If it was not an inspired action in the first place, it's probably not going to. So of course, I use that for reframe for things like doing laundry and doing the dishes, right? Those are things that need to get done. And I don't fucking want to do them, but they need to get done. So that's when I use that reframe of like today, I already started my first load of laundry. I get to do laundry today. I have the privilege of doing laundry today, which is a great privilege to have. I also do get to do my dishes today because I've been putting it off for 4 days. But I'm not going to use that reframe for things like, well, other coaches do their business this way, so I need to do my business this way, so now I get to do my business this way. That's not the same. You guys get that? I'm not going to take actions that other people are taking simply because, oh my God, Hillary, you can come do my laundry any day. Seriously. Like anytime. If I move back to LA, I will gladly bring all my stuff to you. So I'm not going to go out today and take a bunch of actions that other coaches are taking to build my business simply because they've done it for them. Now, I have taken other actions that other coaches have taken in their business to grow my business, and it has worked for me. And I don't take them willy-nilly. I don't take them if I'm not feeling inspired to take them. Believe me, I've done that before. When I first started my business, I enrolled in like one of those webinar funnel courses. Spent, I think, like a good $5,000 on it. Never once fucking used it ever because it wasn't aligned for me at that time. Now this year, I did take a course almost exactly like that. And it's producing massive results for me. I think I've already seen, well, actually by the end of the year, I think I'm going to see 10 times the return on investment with that course for myself because it was inspired, because it was time for me. It was aligned with where I was at, with my soul, with my vision. When I was doing it the first time, it was because that's how other people do it. See the difference? The second time I did it this year was inspired. So giving you guys a little framework to get you started with this. When you are looking at taking active inspired actions, and this is my process every single day, I do this every day. I sit down and I do that meditation on my vision. I connect with my vision. I get into the energetic vibration of my vision so that I'm being that radio tower. I'm connecting with the feelings of that vision, and I'm really, truly in a space where I'm present with my higher self, with source, with the universe, with whatever that is for you. So I start with that. I tap into my heart, I get centered, I get aligned. Then I ask myself an important question. What could, notice I didn't say should, what could I do today to create blank? So whatever that thing is for you. So one of my things this week is that I need to write probably about 20 more Facebook ads. So what could I do today to have 20 Facebook ads created by the end of the week? Now, when I do that, I sometimes will still be like, I'm definitely still in like a receptive meditative state, and I will write down fucking everything that comes to my mind. Everything. So to be honest, doing the dishes is actually on this list. Bless you, Hillary. Because that's where I receive a lot of my inspiration. When I'm doing mindless activities like the dishes or driving or taking a shower or whatever, I get a lot of inspiration in those places. So doing the dishes is actually one of my inspired actions today because I know that that's going to put me in an open, receptive state to be able to start piecing together all the puzzle pieces of this ad sequence. So you want to write out everything that comes to you, even if it doesn't make sense, okay? There have been times that I've had, when I was in LA, I think last year, one of the ones that came up for me was like, go to the spa. And I was like, how the fuck is going to the spa going to help me create my vision today? So there are going to be things on that list that don't make sense. Next, there might be 20 or 30 things that come through you. You do not want to take all 20 to 30 actions. You want to narrow it down. Usually I focus on 2 to 3 things. And they're gonna be the ones that like scare you. And not necessarily like full on like fear mode, but at least have a little bit of like, oh, that's a little, like, that just feels like just like a little bit uncomfortable. That's just like a little bit outside my comfort zone. And I'll give you some examples in a minute of these things. But remember, if it's in your comfort zone, that is not an inspired action. Then, so I want you to pick 2 to 3. And if you cannot figure out if they're inspired actions or not, really ask yourself, like, what do I feel like this is going to create for me? So like, for example, Jasmine just said, I need to declutter my house. Well, what do you feel like that's going to create for you? Is that, because declutter, like even dishes, right, could be a distractive action, right? Like a lot of times we think like, oh, my desk just needs to be perfect before I can do anything because it just needs to be perfect. And then we sit around thinking about how much we need to clean our desk all day. We get to the end of the day, we haven't cleaned our desk, we haven't taken any action, and it's just a distraction technique. So really look at, what is the motivation behind that? I'm very clear that I'm doing the dishes so that I can be in that receptive state to receive the outline for those 20 Facebook ads, right? So you want to make sure to do your active inspired actions first. I know it's easy to do all the punch listy things first. We do not want to do those first, because what happens is we'll do all the punch listy things while in the background we'll be thinking about all the inspired actions. We'll have spent all of this energy all day thinking about our inspired actions. And then we'll get to the end of the day and be like, oh, I'm just so tired. We've all done that before, right? So you want to put your active inspired actions at the beginning of the day, because if you use up all that mental energy thinking about doing them all day long, it is very, very, very unlikely that you are going to have enough energy left to be doing them at the end of the day. So start with your active inspired actions first. Then you can always do more actions after that. Always. For example, I need to write content for the Facebook group for after the challenge ends, and I have to have my VA schedule it all. That absolutely needs to happen today, and it is not one of my active inspired actions. So that's like 5th on the list for me today. It's going to get done. It's not a priority. So taking 2 to 3 active inspired actions per day will do far more for you than taking 1,000 actions of should or 1,000 actions of passively hoping. So let's look at some examples of what would be passive actions versus active inspired actions. So a passive action would be like posting on social media and then crossing your fingers. Like having an offer, posting on social media and crossing your fingers that someone will see it and that they'll message you. In contrast, an active inspired action would be to think of or feel into 5 people that would directly benefit from that post and reach out to them directly, inbox them. Don't pray. Make it much more deliberate. Now, I'm not saying don't pray, you can still pray, but don't like rely on that as like, when I first started with the lead, with the program that I did, they were like, what's your current methodology for welcoming in new clients? And I was like, prayer. And there's like, that's not a terribly sustainable, consistent like methodology for building your business, right? So another passive action, like going into Facebook and commenting in groups and communities and like hoping the right person sees your thing and again reaches out. An active inspired action would be making bold asks, sending direct invitations, again, direct messaging, things like that. Sending out newsletters, again, pretty passive. Does it need to happen? Like, yeah, you can send out a newsletter. But what if you were to send out 5 direct emails to people? That will take you infinitely further, and you're personalizing those messages. People are going to be more, they're going to feel more seen, more special, I'm losing my words, that you've reached out to them personally than just receiving some templated email, right? Making subtle hints, emails that say things like, well, when you're ready, or let me know, passive. Sending out an email that says, do you have time to talk on Tuesday at 9 a.m.? Or asking people questions that don't have a yes or no answer. One of my mentors used to say that if you ask a person a question that doesn't have a yes or no answer and they respond back to you no, they're just an asshole. So ask people questions that they can't say no to. What's your availability this week? That's not a yes or no question. Ask people things that they have to be more engaged with and actually give you the more likelihood of an answer that you are interested in getting. So remember, I know that our comfort zone wants us to be like, well, I don't want to directly reach out to someone. Like, that's terrifying. I don't want to like make a bold ask, or what if I pitch my services to XYZ and they don't like that's terrifying. I'll just do this passive thing over here. Active, inspired actions. Remember, you are not alone in this. The universe is giving you that inspiration. You have to remember that the universe is also behind the scenes, making other things happen that you cannot see as well. I almost envision it, so I used to be in theater, I used to do costume design, and I almost envision it like when you're sitting out in the audience and you're watching a stage production of something, everything like looks magical and perfect and all this stuff, right? It all looks like great and easy. But behind that, there's like dressing assistants, and there's lighting people, and there's music people, there's sound people, there's all of these things going on backstage that are all making the production look amazing. I think of the universe as that backstage crew. The universe is behind the scenes, pulling the strings, lighting this light at the perfect time, setting that sound effect at the perfect time, helping this person get dressed so that they can walk out on stage. Like, the universe is back there helping the production move forward. Just because you can't see that the universe is back there, who knows? Maybe that person that you're reaching out to today is looking for someone exactly like you. And the universe dropped that thought into your head so that you could meet that person there and you can both be fulfilled by that action. The universe is always behind the scenes helping you. Always. We just don't see it. So we assume, and then we get into all of our stories like we talked about yesterday in relation to taking action, and it blocks us. So today we're starting the process of active co-creation. We've got our vision, we've got our radio tower, we've cleaned out some clutter. We get to now go take all of this into the physical world. And we don't forget about all the other stuff we've done. We don't forget about our vision. We don't forget about the clutter that we've gotten rid of. We don't forget about those things. We bring them with us. Take inspiration, decide on 2 to 3 actions, and then take them. Okay? And again, use that, start with your meditation. Write out all of the ideas that come to you by when you ask yourself that question, what could I do today to create blank? Write out all the answers, narrow them down to the ones that feel sticky, to the ones you feel a little resistance to maybe the ones that scare the shit out of you. Then go out in the world and do them. And the more that you can take action from that energetic state, that vibing state of being that radio tower, the better. Combine your doing with your being. Cool? Does anyone have any questions about this? Anyone? Okay, so someone did just say Jasmine is hoping to be in the receptive mode to outline the beginning of her first blog. That's amazing. My next invitation to you, Jasmine, would be when you write that blog, what's going to be that active, inspired action to get it out there? Are you just going to post it on Facebook, or are you going to share it directly with 5 people that you think would benefit it? Or could you send it to 5 of your closest friends and ask them to share it with their communities, right? So yes, blogging is great. Yes, me putting out a new website is great. Yes, me getting the inspired action for these ads is great. But really remembering, like, when we put it out there, it's not just about being like, okay, I did this thing, here it is, right? What are some ways that you can actively take that thing that you've been inspired to create and really, truly get it in other people's hands? Get other people seeing it. Hillary said, are you talking about the meditation we do 10 times per day? Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Get into that, that radio tower mode where you're emitting and vibing and transmitting your vision. That's when you can be receptive to actions that are going to be aligned with that vision. Okay? Anyone else have any other questions? Una said, I had the idea last night to email yoga students that took my class for years that I haven't seen in a while, and then I let my brain talk me out of it. Perhaps that would be helpful. This is exactly the thing. This is it. When we have those little droplets of inspiration, that's not our brain just making shit up. That was an active, inspired action. So maybe reach out to 5 of them today. And maybe in the same email, be like, and could you share this with 5 of your people? Right? So especially in those moments when our brain is talking us out of something, that is most likely an active, inspired action, because it's outside our comfort zone. And as we learned yesterday, our brain's job is to keep us in our comfort zone. So if your brain is talking you out of an action, it is very, 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 very likely an action that could produce great results for you. Oh, Carissa said, that's a great idea, Una. I have been wanting to get back into yoga, but don't know anyone, and having a personal invitation would be encouraging rather than annoying. Cynthia loves the backstage analogy for the universe. Awesome. Yes. All right. Any last minute questions for anyone? Remember that there's a question going up in the Facebook group in 10 minutes for you guys to share your biggest takeaway from today's training. You will get this video in about, I don't know, half hour-ish, under a half an hour. And then there's another post going up at 5:55 Eastern tonight. No, sorry, 5:55 Central tonight, asking you what your 2 inspired actions were and how it felt to take them, I believe. So go take your inspired actions. My invitation would be, do it now. Don't wait until later, do it now. 2 inspired actions, do it now before you talk yourselves out of it. Okay? Sound good? Everyone on board? Good? All right. Cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's one of my favorite days. It's so much fun. So make sure to be here and or watch the replay. If you have any questions, drop them in the Facebook community. Any insights, any things, any stuff that you want to share, also drop it in the Facebook community. I'm so grateful for you to all be here. I will see you tomorrow. And remember, when you're taking this active action today, 1, you are not alone because the universe is there helping you. And 2, you are not alone because all of us are here with you doing all the same things. I'm going to be taking active, inspired action today as well. You're not alone. If your brain is talking you out of it, hop into the Facebook community and let us rally around you, okay? You have a ton of people and energy and just all sorts of stuff on your side to really help you make this a great day. So lean on it, use it. I'm here for you, we're here for you, and I can't wait to see what comes of today. Oh, shoot, I forgot one quick thing. One quick thing I want to mention is the coolest part about this. Coolest part about this work is that when you open up that energy and start moving forward, oftentimes the results that you want don't come from the action you've taken. They come from like out of left field. It's like the coolest thing. I don't know, I can't explain it. The only thing that's ever come to me is that like the universe can't move a parked car. So simply by you being in that car, starting it and putting it into drive, the universe then gets to help you. But if you're just sitting in the car being like, nothing's happening, the universe can't move that car. So remember, the results may come from a mysterious random place. They totally might come from a mysterious random place. I did the women's expo in Florida. I spoke at it and I was like, this is the result I want. And I figured it would come through clients. Figured I would get a bunch of new clients from that experience. I didn't, but instead, I had a woman reach out to me who wants to start hiring me to teach at her like high-end luxury retreats in the Bahamas like 4 times a year, which is like the same, I know, well, it's like the same result, although not, I don't know if I want to say this, I mean like kind of cooler because I get to like do it in the, you know, Bahamas or whatever, but like the results came, they just came in a different way, but because I was willing to go and take that active inspired action and put myself out there, then the universe could start dropping in other opportunities for me. Cool? So no attachments to the results of today, just knowing that the results are coming. They may or may not come from the action you take today. They may come from left field. We don't know. But the results will come by you taking action. Awesome? Cool. Go forth and take action, my friends. I will see you tomorrow. Let me know if you need anything today. I'm here to support you, to cheer you on. And yeah, go have fun. Bye, everyone.